The Catacombs, another remnant of the Ancient Ones culture? One moment. There we go, we've got background music. Another remnant of the Ancient Ones culture, the Catacombs, is tragically inaccessible to visitors today. The Catacombs held the burial chambers of the Ancient Ones, and are said to be designed as a giant labyrinth. To protect their tombs from looters, the Ancient Ones built death traps into the Catacombs and filled it with dead-end paths, maze-like corridors, and rooms where secret knowledge is needed to pass. The Winged Ones were close to mastering the secrets of the Catacombs some years ago, when a Minotaur, taking an instant liking to the dark funeral place, decided to take up residence. At first, the kingdom attempted to regain the hostage artifact, but between the dangers of the Catacombs itself and the Minotaur's stealth and treachery, the losses became too grave to continue the struggle, and the Minotaur was left to his prize. Since then, the Catacombs have been bolted shut. It is one of the great sorrows of the kingdom that, each year, the Minotaur demands, and must be given, the living sacrifice of his choice, lest he emerge from the Catacombs and attack the city. I don't know. He's just one Minotaur. You've got a whole bunch of people who are armed to the teeth in the city. Surely you could take him out. I don't know about that. That's very reminiscent of the three-headed dragon from King's Quest III though, isn't it? Demanding a sacrifice. The Catacombs are illustrative of the Ancient Ones' obsessive interest in death. Indeed, it seems to be in the air in this part of the world, for the modern-day Green Islanders also have elaborate death traditions, as I will describe later. The Catacombs were obviously a place of high reverence for the Ancient Ones, as a message on an ancient tablet that once adorned the doors to the Catacombs shows 3 roses laid upon the bower, a scythe for he who cuts the flower, a crown, a dove, most noble race. Thy bones make sacred this dread place. It's a riddle. You know what, I'll read that last part later. Is this a map of some sort? I'm not sure, but I didn't see anything as we entered that room to suggest that it was instant death. Let me just write some of that down. Okay, I've written down some keywords. Let's go back to the game and we'll plod along. So was there any kind of clue in that room which says that I'm being led towards my demise? The thing is, it's at the bottom here, so I really don't think so.
Alexander hears that.
Yep, we know.
The walls of the remains of several unfortunate souls haunt the room. These bones seem more recent than the ancient catacomb bones that Alexander has seen so far. Perhaps they were victims of the Minotaur, or perhaps they died while wandering lost in the maze. 3 of the skeletons are completely intact.
We need to search them.
A lone skull lies on the ground among the skeletons. Where the skull came from is a mystery, since the other remains seem to have their skulls intact.
Ooh. Where's the rest of your body?
Niches in the remain 3 of the
Okay, let's have a look.
Alexander doesn't want to disturb that skeleton. He seems to have all his bones intact, and it'd be a shame to break up the set.
Charming. I thought there might have been something here, but that's not a thing.
Alexander picks up the skull.
Okay. I assume that's part of the riddle.
Alexander is carrying a human skull.
The last line talks about bones. Okay, I've made some progress. I've not been north here.
The wall, that's niches.
There's going to be something in one of these things, I just know it.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the ground.
Just updating my map while that's playing. Okay, I immediately understand the puzzle now. Once again, updating my map. So we've got a skull in this room, and we have a puzzle here. You know what? Let me ignore that for now. And we'll check out the other path. Go all the way back to the start down here and go west to the left. That's clearly what we need the verse for. 3 roses, scythe, flower, crown, dove, and then bones.
All of the doorway.
And click the bass in time.
Alexander examines the stone shelf.
Yep, I got it.
Alexander examines the stone shelf.
Okay, this place is fairly large so far.
As he walks through the...
Let me out. Not like that. Can't even skip that.
Tickets. Oh. Next. Don't just...
I'm surprised guide is capitalized there. I mean, yes, it is telling me that I need to look at the guide to get past that puzzle room. But all of this other stuff I assume is, well, it's not RNG obviously, but it's trial and error. We need to go in the various directions, figure out where we can and can't go, map it all out, and figure out what to do from there. Let me make another save here. I go this way. I can.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones.
Yep, got us.
The doorway is unobstructed and requires no manipulation. Just walk through it.
Cheers.
The walls of the catacombs are rough and cold to the touch.
So if I can go north from the next room, here, that would take me to the other side of the puzzle.
Alexander examines...
Can I go south here? I can. Okay, this is a loop.
Alexander...
Is this death? Can I go left or right here? No.
Alexander examines...
Okay, I might actually take a moment to photograph what I've done here. There is very clearly a loop down here, and there's possibly something in the center which we can't access.
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
I did a little bit of a cut there because I was busy trying to get the camera lined up and take some good photos. I might just leave this for a moment and see if something happens. I was not expecting there to be another prompt like that, but yeah, if I go south and then go left, that is where I died last time. Basically, I just need to go south, walk around, head up, and head towards the puzzle.
Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
Will I die here if I just wait? I've got to find out. The fact that it just said another unique prompt makes me think that, yeah, this is timed, and we're going to die very shortly. Hopefully. Maybe?
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
Never mind. So yeah, I think I will walk back instead of loading my game, but if I go left here, that is instant death. That's where I died last time. If I go north here, that's going to take me back into the loop. I did not see another way through. That brings me all the way back to the stars. Let's go north now and see if we can solve this puzzle. I've seen this movie. Not that one. Actually, yeah, that one. We took our time. What have we got?
Alexander is standing in a room with a tiled floor. Except for the tiles directly in front of the doors, each tile bears an engraving. Alexander has the feeling that the unique floor isn't merely decorative. The doors to this room appear to be like all the other doors in the catacombs. An image of a rose has been carved into that tile. A carving of a scythe adorns that tile. An image of a rose has been carved into that tile. That tile bears an engraving of a crown. That tile is engraved with a skull and crossbones. That tile is engraved. That tile bears the image of a dove. That tile. That tile.
Okay, let's work through this backwards. So we've got 3 roses, a scythe, a crown, and bones. 6 tiles. I can't imagine it's as simple as just walking across here. That's not going to be a thing. We leave here there. We've got to hit a dove, so if we're hitting a dove, I assume we're hitting one of these 2. Well, we've got to hit that one. Hitting that one would involve hitting the other dove, so we hit that one.
That tile bears the image of a dove.
We come down here to the rose.
An image of a rose.
And then maybe we hit one of these 2. I don't know whether we can do either or. I suspect I'm going to get trolled on that. But if I get to that one there, I need to hit that...
That tile is...
skull and crossbones. Okay, that doesn't work. What about this?
That tile bears the image of a dove.
I can go straight across here, but I'm only hitting one rose.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet. Uh-oh!
Dang.
Tickets. Oh. Next. 3 spikes and you're out.
Yes.
Alexander is...
I don't see the traps here. I don't get what path it's asking me to take. I'm going to bring up the riddle again very quickly, but I did burn the keywords into my mind. 3 roses laid upon the bower, a scythe for he who cuts the flower, a crown, a dove, most noble race, thy bones make sacred this dread place. To me, that says we need to step on 6 tiles. Correction, 7 to cross this place. But I can't actually see the order here. Like if I go that way, we have to step on a crown or a skull. What is this, a dove?
That tile bears the image of a dove.
To get out of here, to get to that tile, I have to step on either a dove or a skull and crossbones. If I choose to exit via this dove, then I need to hit the crown. I could hit that. But the question is, how do I hit 3 roses before I leave? If I go that way, I'm going to hit the crown. If I go that way, I'm going to hit 2 crowns. So that to me suggests that is not the solution. Unless what I do perhaps is go up, across, down, left, up. But that doesn't work either because I'm going to be stepping on 2 crowns.
That tile bears... That tile...
That doesn't work. So if I start here, I go across, I hit the scythe. I then go left, hit a second rose, But then in order to hit a dove, I need to go up here and hit that, and that's a no-go. How do you do this? What if I go this way? Rose, crown, dove, skull and crossbones, dove, crown. No, I can't go. Oh my god. What's the solution here? I'm confused. I'm dumb and I'm confused. Rose, crown, dove, bones. So I need rose, scythe, and then if I hit bones, I'm kind of screwed. That might be the answer though. Okay. We're not dead yet. One rose. What if I go across here? I can't hit that dove. Hitting that dove means I need to get out by hitting this skull and crossbones, and I can't go left here without hitting a skull and crossbones.
That tile.
Brain not work good. So for this to work, it means I have to leave via this exit here, surely. In order to leave there though, I can't hit the second crown, so I have to go here.
Alexander. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. So rose, crown.
Alexander. Uh-oh.
Okay, that's not the way to go. Unless maybe I just hit that. Then go across? No. We can brute force this thing, chat. It can be done.
Alexander. Uh-oh.
Okay, now I'm confused. What about up and then down? We're not going and hitting that crown unless...
Alexander. Uh-oh.
Okay, that was a different animation. What the hell was that?
Tickets. Oh. Next.
3 spikes and...
It didn't look like the standard arrows. What am I doing here?
Alexander. Uh-oh.
I can't go north. That's not happening. I can't go west.
Alexander. Uh-oh.
I can't go down. Can I go diagonal?
Alexander. Uh-oh.
I can go diagonal. That would answer a lot of questions, I think, but...
Alexander. Uh-oh. Alexander feels... Uh-oh.
What am I doing? Okay, 3 roses. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. 3 roses. As soon as I realize it can go diagonal, it becomes a whole lot easier. So, a scythe to cut the flower. A crown, a dove, most noble race. Thigh bones. God damn it. That took me way longer to get than it should have. I'm so sorry, everyone. Alright, so we have another catacomb room. Anything in there?
Ah, you were a human only and not the monster himself. I heard you coming and thought you were the beast. Did my father send you here to save me?
Why, yes, he did, but how did you...
Hush, there is no time. I think I have discovered the Minotaur's secret exit from the catacombs. Follow me and we'll both be saved.
What's with your eye? I'm tempted to follow her, though.
Alexander.
Yep.
That's odd. Where did she... Go! Tickets. Oh. Next.
Don't just wonder.
Same thing, nothing unique. Okay, I'll trigger that.
Ah.
Why...
Hush, there...
So what, the genie heard that meeting? Otherwise, how would the genie know that... you know what, I guess the genie could have had this conversation with Ariel and Azura earlier that the doors has gone missing. Earlier in the day, I mean. What a twat though, he's broken into the catacombs, somehow got in here through a secret entrance, very clearly, and he's disguising himself as Princess Celeste.
There you are. Why do you not follow me? Do you wish for death by the Minotaur? Hurry, we can tarry no longer.
I take it options to look at her or talk to her. Yeah, I think I'll wait this out. So at the moment I've only got one direction to go on the map, and that is through the room behind us and to the north. Are you going to say anything else, Shamir?
So, here you still are. You are a coward and a fool. I leave you to your fate.
He didn't vanish in a puff of smoke this time. Interesting, is that because he can't, or because he doesn't want to give the game away? He's definitely doing a much better impression of a female character here than he did outside, though. Oh boy, that was not good.
Alexander.
I'd love to wait here a moment, but it's been about a minute already. I do hope that when all is said and done, that we get an audience with the Oracle. Because I would love to know if it's the same Oracle. It's got to be the same Oracle, surely. Right, going north. Hello?
Alexander examines the stone. The walls of that's the north. The walls of that's. An old wooden shield hangs on the wall.
Let's grab that.
Alexander takes the shield from the wall.
Oh, jeez. Music, thank you. I do not approve of that. I was wondering where half my inventory was. I picked up the skull and thought, hang on, there's stuff missing. There's so much stuff missing, Jesus.
The otherwise plain wooden shield is embellished with a silver cross.
Something werewolves?
Alexander has no reason to use the shield here.
Okay.
Niche. Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of...
Updating my map. This is a long corridor that's leading north.
Alexander...
We have a shield?
It's a trap. The doors have sealed Alexander inside. And the ceiling is coming down.
And right now, I remember why we need the brick.
Alexander is standing in a trap room with a crushing ceiling, and the ceiling is descending fast.
So you know what? Let me just load and go north. Let me rule this path out. Can't rule us out, okay.
Alexander examines the... Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient...
Ooh. I'm glad I checked.
Alexander notices that this skeleton has old coins over its eyes.
Oh, what mythology is that from, chat? I want to say Egyptian, but I don't think that's correct.
Alexander finds 2 coins on the skeleton's eyes. he takes the old coins.
Once again, just updating my map. So we now need to get through that trap room. Now, another thing which I did not bring up earlier is that, well, I mentioned that if we get tossed in here without the appropriate item, we're in a fail state. I've got a question, and maybe I'll check this if I've got spare time, whether or not we can actually enter the catacombs without the brick. Because yeah, I distinctly recall seeing those gears, that the brick is going to stop those gears.
It's a trap. The doors have sealed Alexander inside. And the ceiling is coming down.
This is actually a really cool design.
The walls remain sturdy and unscathed as the ceiling descends between them. The ceiling is grinding down with methodical determination, heedless of the human in its path.
We need to turn Alexander into an Alexander sandwich at least once.
Both exits from this room have been sealed shut by sliding panels. Alexander is trapped. Alexander. The floor in this room looks like every other floor in the catacombs. It's made of solid rock. The doors have been sealed shut. Alexander doesn't have time to try to force them open. The shield is not strong enough to stop the ceiling's descent. That ceiling is solid rock. The gears are working furiously to lower the ceiling. Their great cogs interlock perfectly. With a
Yikes!
and presses Alexander into the floor like a bug under a heel.
I'll cut in with the line that I missed.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Alexander never was much good at squash.
Ugh, really?
With a sudden lurch, the ceiling completes its descent.
That's what I missed. That is quite a sudden drop indeed. It's coming down smoothly and then fucking bam.
And
Right, so I can't walk in here, can't move.
the doors have been sealed shut. Alexander doesn't have time to try to force them open.
Can I put my hands in the gears?
The door. Alexander's hands would be crushed to pieces in those gears. He can't stop them with his bare hands. The shield is too large to fit in those gears.
Do we have anything else that will maybe work? Like the skull, maybe?
Desperate to stop the crushing ceiling, Alexander throws a skull into the grinding gears. The skull is caught between two cogs. The gears shriek and shudder. The skull begins to bulge.
Uh-oh!
With a sudden lurch, the ceiling completes its descent.
The skull is not the answer. Is there anything else I can use, maybe? The tomato?
And the
lamp?
that would never hold those grinding gears.
Yeah, okay, maybe it's just a skull.
Rotten Tomato would not appreciate being thrown into those gears.
Oh wow, we actually get a very unique line there. Alright, let's brick it up.
In a desperate move, Alexander throws a brick into the grinding gears. The brick is caught between two cogs. The gears shriek and shudder. The mechanism grinds to a halt. The ceiling is stuck. The trap is sprung.
Indeed. I do question whether or not we can even enter the catacombs if we don't have the brick. I'll check that later if I get time.
Alexander...
And I can now hear a bad noise in the background. Not talking about that, there's something else.
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
That's a Minotaur, dude.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bone.
Updating map again. Anything down here?
Alexander examines the stone
So, I believe we're 2 rooms above the skull.
somewhere, far off into the catacombs. The sounds of hooves faintly echo.
Dead end, really?
Alexander the wall, that's the floor of the catacombs, like the walls, is comprised of massive stone tiles. It feels cold and hard beneath Alexander's feet.
I don't like the sound effects that are playing now. Right, let's try going north.
Alexander examines the stone
Sounds! A trap floor!
Alexander seems to have fallen to a lower level of the catacombs.
I need to make a new map.
Wherever he is, the place sure is dark. Alexander can't even see his hand in front of his face.
Make a save here. I think that that's okay because I didn't see anywhere else on the upper floor, that we'll call it, to explore. And so to conclude my photographing up there, this is what my final map looks like. You see the trap room is in the middle there, and we left via the top right. The coins are very clearly missable. Well, the shield and the skull are as well. I guess that we're going to need to use those to escape, but again, I assume these are missable, and if I miss those, what are the consequences for missing them? Am I trapped here? I don't know.
Alexander can see nothing in the darkness.
I just want to see if I can get eaten by a Minotaur.
Alexander hears the scrabble of hooves in the dark room.
Hello?
Jesus.
Tickets. Oh,
I love that.
next.
Caught in the dark, Alexander?
You don't see what happens, but it's gruesome. He gets torn in half. Bisected.
Alexander takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it.
Aha! So that's why it's dark in here. A torch is out.
I'm glad you can see that, because I can't.
Alexander lights the extinguished torch and puts his tinderbox away.
Okay, I need to start drawing a new map. Right, done. Let's go south. I assume there's nothing in these.
Alexander
That gives me a bit of time to update my map.
Alexander examines the stone
Please don't go about 3 or 4 south, because if you do, I'm going to run out of room.
Alexander
Also, I've actually lost count of where I am. Apologies, everyone. If I go here, can I turn left? Yes, okay. So 2 south. We have 5 rooms going north-south here. Let's try going west here.
Alexander
The Minotaur's got to be down here. Or we can go further south. That's a problem.
Alexander As he walks through the doorway, Alexander gets a very bad feeling about this room.
No, I'm good about that. Alexander's not, but I'm totally fine with that. Oh, let me out. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Don't...
Okay, I did not make a save here, so let's light this thing back up.
Alex...
Aha!
Alex...
Let's try going west, where hopefully this is also instant death. It'll make things much quicker. It's not.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and...
Wonder if we get different messages about the hooves now.
Alexander examines the stone shelf.
I'll give it a moment next time we hear them. Oh, God. Alright, well let me try going south first, because that's going to take me towards where I died last time.
As he walks...
Lots of dead ends.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Don't...
And yeah, the message here says to look at the guide, but it's not going to help me against these dead ends. Alright. 2 south, 1 west. Too late.
As he walks...
I'm okay with these dead ends, really. If only because it eliminates some areas on the map, but...
Tickets. Oh. Next.
I don't think this is good game design. So if I go west there, that's going to lead me to a 4-way intersection. South is death. Let's go down here. That way's death. Damn, those hooves. It is coming up a bit too late for me to walk back into the room and cancel the animation. Okay, 2 across. So, south leads to death, guaranteed. What about over here? At this stage, I might actually make a save.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
Nothing new. Okay. So, if I go north 1 more, we are just south of where we died.
Alexander...
Hello? Okay, I've got vague memories of that thing leading somewhere.
Alexander... The walls of the catacombs are made of massive stone tiles. That's the wall that... The wall that's the wall that...
Nothing about whatever this is?
A very beautiful, very dusty tapestry hangs on the wall.
Okay, so for context, on the other side of that wall, I don't know what's there, and I'll actually make a photograph of the map right now to show you. I don't know what's there, and we can't access it from the other side, and we also can't access it from the north. Neither of those are options that are available to us. Before I go that way, let me just make another save. So I just took photos and I don't remember if I saved or not. Let me rule out this path to the west here. Is this death?
Alexander hears a low growling. Alexander
Oh, geez. Maybe I should go back and touch that tapestry.
Alexander... Somewhere.
We're not getting anything new. Oh, don't send me much further south, please.
Alexander...
I don't have room on the page. Okay, dead end. I'm okay with that.
Alexander...
There wasn't anything there, was there?
Alex...
No.
Alexander examines.
We are a long way from that intersection, the four-way intersection.
Alexander.
I was kind of hoping it would loop around, but we are a long way off.
Alexander.
Like a stupid way off. That stone.
The wall. That. The wall.
I thought that looked a bit sus.
Alexander examines the stone.
Okay, I've lost count. 1 moment. If I go south, and then south again, I should be able to go right. Yep, okay, so here we have another four-way intersection. This place is huge. I'm going to make another save here. I'm guessing that way is going to lead to death. No, just a dead end.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient.
Let me go north. I'm really hoping it connects back to the other four-way intersection. But at the same time, I'm not hopeful. This place is massive.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bone. The doorway.
If we get a whole bunch of easts now, 3 easts, then we'll arrive back at known territory. Yeah, okay. Is this room to the east death?
Alex.
It is not. Okay.
Alexander.
Believe it or not, we're back in known territory. We've been in this room, and if we go south, we die.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
1 moment, just updating my map to include the word tapestry here, which I've still not touched, and I do wonder if that is going to change the map at all. But you can see there's 4 directions that I've not been. North from this room, north earlier, south, and another one to the east.
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
I'm guessing many of these are going to lead to dead ends and death. Not this one, though.
Alexander examines the stone.
Okay, let's make our way to the west. Try going south here. Is this death? It is not. So, the next room. Can I go west from the next room?
Alexander examines the stone shelf.
I can. Highly unlikely that this will kill me.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bone.
I've got a feeling this will kill me though. I keep saying that, but I really believe it this time because we are just west of the tapestry. No, okay.
Alexander hears the sound of a wild beast again, this time so loud that the creature itself seems to be in the same room with him. The noises are coming from the other side of the east wall.
I remember now. I remember what we have to do. Let's come back there shortly. Let's just rule out the final path on the map, which is 2 north here, 1 west and 1 north. That's a fair walk, unfortunately. Yep, death.
as he walks.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Don't just wonder, Alexander. Let your conscience be your guide.
No, let that map be my guide. That's what we need to do. I need to try manipulating a tapestry, which I completely missed. And then what I'm going to need to do is make my way to that point and look through a hole in the wall.
A very beautiful, very dusty tapestry hangs on the wall. Alexander does not see anything unusual about or under that tapestry, and the tapestry itself is much too heavy to take.
Okay, so I don't know if that's essential or not, but I'm going to do that anyway for lore purposes and to pad this video out a bit, even though I think I've been in here for about an hour. What I need to do now is make my way to the other side of that wall. And this, unfortunately, is a fair old walk. Yeah, I do like the fact that mazes exist and you have to map them out, and that's fun and all. But walking into rooms which randomly kill you is never fun. It's just annoying. I feel like that could have been handled a little bit better. Not exactly sure how, but if I look down any of those doors, is there any indication that I'm going to die? I don't think so, right? I'll test that in just a moment. But for now...
Alexander hears the sound of a wild beast again. This time, so loud that the creature itself seems to be in the same room with him. The noises are coming from the other side of the east wall.
The tapestry is on the other side of that wall.
This room forms a cul-de-sac with the dead-end wall to the east.
Yeah.
The sounds came from behind the dead-end wall. Alexander examines the wall closely, but sees only a solid rock wall.
No, we need to look through a hole in the wall.
Alexander puts the hole in the wall on the east wall. The hole in the wall trembles slightly with dread at the clammy feeling of the stones. Alexander peers through the hole in the wall and sees just another room in the catacombs.
What? No.
Aha! Not just another room at all. So that's why Alexander couldn't find the Minotaur's lair. At least Alexander now knows the lair exists, somewhere in the maze on the other side of this wall. While Alexander contemplates what he's just seen, the hole in the wall, frightened by the Minotaur, makes a run for it. Alexander hopes the little creature finds its way home to the Isle of Wonder.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get right on that. By the same token, our crew are safely on their way back to Daventry. I'm sure they're fine and nothing went wrong whatsoever. Okay, let me try something super quickly. Where am I? Not that one. Lower. Walk faster, please.
All of the doors, the floor of the catacomb,
Yeah, I can't look down there, so it's given me no indication that that is instant death. I have a question though. Can I use the hole in the wall elsewhere?
Alexander, it seems to show. Alexander, nothing of interest.
There's going to be some sort of Easter egg here, isn't there? I just know it. I'm not going to find it right now though. Where did I save? It was here. I saved under the wrong save. But you know what? It's fine. So we've got the knowledge now. We can go through the tapestry, which means I need to retrace my steps. How exactly are we going to slay this Minotaur, though? Hopefully there's something in that room we can use, because I can't think of anything right now apart from the red rag, the red scarf. Save there.
This tapestry looks familiar.
You've already played with it once.
Now let's see. I don't feel anything. Aha! A hidden latch.
Alexander triggers the little latch. A secret door rolls open.
It's alright, Alexander. I never feel anything. Hidden door.
The walls of the Catacombs. That's the east wall. The secret door to the Minotaur's lair is open.
Just updating the map for old time's sake. Alright. Here goes.
No! I beg of you! Please don't hurt me!
Your struggles are useless.
It's the Minotaur, and he's struggling with a Winged One's girl. She must be Lady Celeste.
Dude's up to no good. Okay, so if I go east on the map here, that should lead to death.
Alexander steps further into the room. The movement catches Lady Celeste's eye. She screams for help.
You there! Human! Help me! Help!
Not so high and horsey now, are you?
Who dares enter my lair?
I ask you to release your captive or suffer the consequences.
Never. You die, human.
As the Minotaur advances in attack, Alexander slowly backs away.
I'm a talented magician.
Until he can back away no more.
Now where to, little man?
Subtitle slightly incorrect, but that's fine. Let's have a look around. The way to the east should lead to certain death. Have a look at the map there. There's nowhere else to go east, apart from a pit, which leads to death. Maybe once we release Celeste, she will let us fly out somehow, perhaps? I don't know, but that doesn't appear to be consistent with what is on the map.
Alexander has found the Minotaur's lair. The chamber has the rank smell of a beast's den, but a strange altar testifies to the Minotaur's evil intelligence. The Minotaur is a huge, monstrous beast with cloven hooves and the head of a bull.
Can we talk about this?
The beautiful Winged One girl watches from the altar, as if resigned to seeing Alexander die. The monstrous altar towers in one corner of the room. Alexander shudders with revulsion at the thought of the rituals performed at that sacrificial table.
Now you die!
Oof! That's either a long scream or it's forcing me to click the mouse. Yeah, the red rag will take care of you.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
There's something to be said for taking the bull by the horns, Alexander.
We'll try talking to him first. That's what Edge magazine tells us to do.
It's the
Let's have a look around.
The skull of some large and unknown beast guards the east exit. Alexander has found there's a doorway on the east wall of the lair. Perhaps it's another exit from the catacombs.
No, that leads to death. Really?
A pit has caved in the floor in one corner of the Minotaur's lair. Flames rise from the pit as though from the throat of a dragon trapped in the earth. The fire makes the lair unbearably hot. A beautiful winged one girl is struggling for her life against the Minotaur.
Different line, that's good.
The Minotaur is a monstrous altar tower. The skulls of two of the Minotaur's unfortunate victims have been stuck on the altar in a gruesome fashion.
Dang. Well, that's pretty gnarly.
A monster. Lady Celeste, looking desperately around the room for any possible means of escape, suddenly spots Alexander.
You there!
I asked...
As the until now.
Wouldn't you like to let the girl and I go?
Don't be a fool.
I'll take care of the Minotaur, milady. Have no fear. I'll take care of it. Wouldn't you like...
Now you die!
Too late. Is there anything else we can glean from this place? How about we go in there?
It's the
We get frightened and leave. Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Phew, that was close. Alexander was lucky he wasn't seen.
We get a different line when we enter.
The Minotaur is still struggling with the Winged One's maiden.
I do question whether he can actually kill her. I don't think so.
Excuse me. I demand the release of that maiden this instant, you fiend.
Lady Celeste looks wildly around the room for the source of the strange voice and spots Alexander.
You there!
I ask you...
Same thing.
As the minute... Until now.
Alright. Like balls to a rag or whatever that saying is.
Alexander, his back inches from the fiery pit, tempts the Minotaur with the Red Queen's scarf.
Look here, you bully. Nice, bright red.
Red.
So stereotypical.
Now you die!
The Minotaur drops from sight amidst the consuming flames. Slowly, his scream fades as well.
Have you been harmed, Lady Celeste? Are you all right?
No, I am not all right. I assume you do not intend to leave me tied up on this vile monstrosity.
Dang.
Of course not. Sorry, let's see. If you'll give me a moment, I'll have these untied in no time.
I can't wait that long. Look, I wear a small dagger just inside my belt. It should be enough to cut the rope.
Oh, all right. I've got it, Lady Celeste. Here we go.
There's definitely a difference in culture here. This is so unsafe. What if you accidentally trip?
Thank you. You may keep the dagger as a gift for saving my life.
That's very generous.
Forget it. Do you mind if we just get out of here now?